We have a fully functional plugin. The code is clean, organized, and secure for WordPress. However, there may be people out there who disagree for one reason or another. They may have found another plugin that's even better. In such cases, they will uninstall our plugin. Our plugin does a pretty good job of cleaning itself up when deactivated, but what about for uninstallation? This is a common problem among thousands of plugins available to you. They spend so much time adding to your database and system during activation, but rarely do any cleanup during uninstallation. We don't want to be one of those developers. We want to clean up after ourselves once we get the boot. WordPress makes it easy for us. There are two ways to clean up, but one is better than the other. The first way is to use a hook. There's a special hook called when WordPress uninstalls a plugin. However, despite its availability, WordPress highly recommends we don't use it. Instead, they recommend the second way, which is to create a file named uninstall.php that handles the cleanup. Let's create that file now inside the recipe plugin folder. Any code placed here will run when a user clicks uninstall for our plugin. There's one precaution we must take before running any code, and that is to check if this file was executed by WordPress. You can do this by simply checking if a constant named wp uninstall plugin is defined. If it isn't, then we'll simply exit out of this script. The only thing we want to do is delete any tables we created during activation. We're going to use the wp-db object again. We're going to call the query method and use the following query. Drop table if exists wp-db prefix recipe underscore ratings. Before we test this plugin, I want to back up the plugin. Open the plugins folder in your File Explorer and let's zip up this folder before doing anything else. Let's try testing this out now. Open HeidiSQL and check your database for the recipe ratings table. Then, let's go to the plugins page and deactivate the plugin. Click delete and you will be asked if you're sure you want to delete this plugin and its data. Select yes and our plugin will disappear from WordPress. If I look at my folders, then you'll see that the recipe folder is gone. If I refresh the database, then you'll find the recipe ratings table is also gone. We've successfully cleaned up after ourselves. Before we end this lecture, let's add our plugin back by using the zip file we created earlier. Make sure to activate it as well. A question I get asked a lot is if we should also delete the content for the post type, metadata, and taxonomies. The answer is it depends. There are plugins out there that will delete unused data, so I prefer to let those plugins handle it. The reason we're not doing it ourselves is because there's a possibility that the data may still be in use. Keep in mind that our plugin makes certain content accessible and manageable through our own interface. However, there are other plugins that can also access our data using the WordPress API. The recipe table we deleted was a custom table, so it's highly unlikely a plugin will know how to work with it, let alone know its existence. The table was outside the scope of WordPress's API. Therefore, we should clean it up. Custom post type data and metadata are things within WordPress's scope, so it's perfectly fine to leave that data there. We can leave it to other plugins to clean that up if the user needs that. At the end of the day, it's up to you. If you want to delete the custom post type data, then that's perfectly fine.